guys, welcome to the Mr. Maple Show. I'm Matt.
Hey guys, I'm Tim, and today we're on site at Don Smith Nursery in Oregon to give you some comparing videos. So guys, smash that like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and as always, sign up for our weekly emails on MrMaple.com. We had 10 new trees every single Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so you want to be a part of that email list.
Guys, we're here in Boring, Oregon to check out some amazing red dwarfs. We're going to be comparing some red dwarf Japanese maples today. What I've got in front of me is Rhode Island Red, and this is a great looking plant.
Yeah, guys, this was found as a chance seedling by Rhode Island Nursery in Rhode Island, and it just has this compact form. It's almost like a dwarf bloodgood. I mean, just very tight, compact, dense. I mean, it is everything you love about bloodgood, but tight and compact. So you always see people out there with those hedge trimmers trying to shear back the bloodgoods. Don't do that. You make a horrible shape on the tree. You'll see that during the winter. This plant does that all by itself, that natural dwarf compact red shape with that larger red leaf.
I love how dense and full this tree gets. I mean, it kind of makes that little hobbit house kind of shape on its own. It's actually named after the Rhode Island Red chicken. There's a red chicken that kind of has that kind of color to it. I love what this one brings to the table. You'll see many people selling blood goods as dwarf blood goods. They may not actually be a dwarf. This one is a true dwarf form of that. And it gives you everything you love about that larger overall leaf and a small round habit. It makes a great tree for the container garden or the landscape because of that. It looks excellent over a big patio planter as a small topper. It's a great tree with that low width to it. And really, that full-size leaf makes it extra special. Most of the other dwarfs are going to have that fuller, rounder leaf that Rhode Island Red has.
Now, while this tree does have the larger leaf, it is a very popular one for bonsai. The reason being is because it gets a thicker trunk to it, and that thicker trunk gives some nice thick branching, so it's something that's easy to train and to shape and give you that really thickness, that caliper that you're looking for with bonsai. I mean, Rhode Island Red, an excellent dwarf tree in the landscape.
Because of that shape, too, it's going to be very forgiving. For bonsai experts, it's got a lot of density to it, so there's a lot to play with here. If you're somebody who wants to do a lot of pruning, it's a great starting point because you can shape this a good bit and still have that compact habit. I love the bell shape this one makes. It's going to be a small bell shape overall and excellent fall colors. Typically, this tree is going to be a dark maroon in the spring and summer, go into a really bright picked up red in the fall. Excellent durability. This one's going to work zones 5 through 9. We always let everybody know in containers, it is going to take you down one zone. So if you have this one in a big planter in zone 5, you're going to have to find some protection for that one in zone 5 for the winter or planting. In the ground, it's going to do great for you.
Now, if you give this tree some sunlight in the early springtime, most of the time it's going to be this maroon, but sometimes you can get like a cherry red. I know I was visiting the J.C. Rouse and Arboretum. They had some amazing cherry reds on a nice dwarf Rhode Island Red that just drew my attention. And it's such a great container plant. I mean, I know we first saw it at Etchen's Garden, MJ Acer, on Facebook. We saw it in a container, and we were like, this is the perfect container plant. But as you can see, it's a great tree out in the landscape just because of that unique shape and the unique size.
Guys, we're here again at Don Smith's Nursery in Boring, Oregon, and Eric's been really kind to let us go around and check out some different plants. This is just one red dwarf we're going to be comparing. Let's check out a few others.
Hey guys, so now we're standing with Acer palmatum Kimi Soja.
Oh, these are some awesome specimens here in ground. We love showing you specimens whenever available. I love this plant for its smaller overall foliage. It's going to contrast distinctly with that Rhode Island Red because much smaller overall foliage on this one. I think the bonsai guys are definitely going to get excited about that one because it's a true red, but in more of that hime form. If you're familiar with something like Murasaki Kiyohime or Kiyohime, the foliage is going to be more comparable to that size, and you're still going to get that intense red color.
Yeah, the secondary flushes are minuscule. I mean, they're very, very tiny. I mean, you can put them down there. They're about the size of my fingernail. That's an excellent, excellent tree for bonsai because of that. But one of the reasons I love this tree is, it's got a great shape, but Kimi Soja also holds its color so well in the shade. So you can take this tree and put it in a shaded area, and it holds this red color even late in the summer, which is really impressive for a red dwarf Japanese maple.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with this one. It's been a great pairing with some of those other Kiyohime type forms. Another one, great one for the container garden. This one in our area tends to be a real small compact shape, typically about 3 to 4 feet tall, 4 to 5 feet wide, even in a 10-year span for us. Love the shape on this one, and very low and spreading habit to it. So this one's going to be a little bit wider than the Rhode Island Red that tends to be a little bit more bell-shaped overall.
Now, Kimi Soja is a plant that is very vigorous at a young age. So if you get a 1 gallon from us and you're growing Kimi Soja, it'll stretch out a little bit, and then it'll tighten up as this tree is out there in the landscape or in a container. a fantastic little red dwarf with really small foliage to contrast very well against that Rhode Island Red we were just talking about.
Yeah, now this new growth on this one can really kind of get some contrast going on itself too. You kind of get some more pink red to then dark red older growth. Really a showy plant. Again, you're going to have a similar bright red fall color on this one, but a great tree for that container garden landscape. If you want to add a splash of deciduous color in the conifer garden, Kimi Soja is going to give you everything you're looking for there and contrast so distinctly with your evergreen collection. It's a small tree. It's going to fit in a lot of spaces. Again, this one's going to work zones 5 through 9 as well. Be careful in that zone 5 in the container. You are going to have to protect your container in that environment, but it's a quintessential plant, I think, for that planter garden, especially because of the shape you can create, and it really lends itself excellent to a big patio plant.
Now, this is a tree that was brought over in 2008 by Brian Upchurch and some of his friends from Japan. So it's a fairly new tree on the market. We're here in 2023, in June of 2023 in Oregon. And you see these plants now. I mean, this is an amazing plant. I think it's become more and more popular in the nursery trade. The more people realize how uniquely different it is from many of the other red dwarfs that have been out there.
All right, guys, next up here we have Englishtown. So this is Acer palmatum Englishtown.
Guys, this is a red dwarf, but it's really more of a semi-dwarf. It gets about equally as tall as it does wide. It has a leaf that's smaller than the Rhode Island Red, but much bigger than the Kimi Soja. I mean, this tree has a very nice compact habit and a really dense form.
Yeah, Eric was telling me this is one that holds its color. For him, even better. Has an excellent color to it. I like it in our area. It seems to almost have a little more purplish tones to it, too. So you get some interesting shades going on there. It's a unique color pattern for sure.
Yeah, this was apparently found in Englishtown, New Jersey at a strip mall, as the story goes. And this plant was just found as a witch's broom. It was grafted by Billy Schwartz, introduced in the nursery trade. I do remember going and visiting Billy Schwartz at his home in Downingtown, Pennsylvania, at Green Mansions Nurseries, and Matt and I saw a broom that was happening on a broom, so that this can actually get a broom again.
Yeah, not to be confused with Englishtown WB, which I've seen in the trade as like a broom off of this. So I think it has a proclivity for throwing a broom sometimes in it. Really good plant though, and a very unique overall plant to be growing. I like that it gets about as wide as it does tall, so it is a dwarf, but it does get a little bit more out there than some of the other dwarfs, making it a little faster growing. So think of this one in an area where you're looking for a little bit more width, equally as wide as tall, so you're going to get more width overall.
And I do remember going and visiting Charlie Morgan's parents in Washington. We went to visit Amazing Maples
as well.
And there was a broom at the base of the Englishtown there as well. So, like you said, it's probably a proclivity that can keep reoccurring.
So if you like finding brooms, don't rename it, but you can look for one on this to see what it's named. Probably going to be very similar to Englishtown WB if it keeps throwing.
Yeah, very, very, very similar. It almost has like a Jerry Schwartz type color.
Yeah.
Does it? Very, very unusual, very different. But this is a really cool, very tight, dense tree, and another nice red dwarf Japanese maple.
All right, let's look at one more. All right, last but certainly not least here on our list, we've got another witch's broom for you. This one's Acer palmatum Orion.
Guys, this one was found and introduced by Red Maple Nurseries. I mean, they introduced so many great plants from Emperor One you can just go down the list of so many awesome plants they've introduced. Orion, one of their best red dwarfs.
Hey, check out our video on Red Maple Nurseries. We have a 2-part series. We talk a lot about some of their introductions in the early 80s. Pretty cool. Orion, interesting growth on this. I love some of the shades you get. Not only does it contrast with the other plants in your garden, but this one contrasts with itself. You'll get some insane like pink salmon new growth over top of those deeper red tones, making it an extremely colorful red dwarf.
Now it can go to some bronze colors during the summer, but the thing that is outstanding about this tree that I love is the shades of yellows and oranges you can get in the fall with Orion. I mean, it really lights up the garden and landscape with going from a stark contrast from this red spring color, this more picked up red spring color, to that yellow to orange fall color. That just makes it an excellent red dwarf to use out in the landscape.
Oh, insane colors on this one. A dense, compact broom. Another one found from a witch's broom. You can check out our video on what is a witch's broom if you really want to get in-depth and geeky about that. We talk a little bit about that. But basically, by finding a broom, it's a dwarf compact mutation that gives you some interesting dense traits like this. And definitely you get that density with Acer palmatum Orion.
Guys, Orion, I mean, it's one of those plants that's great for container. I mean, I think Ed Shin in New Jersey is one of the reasons this tree's become so popular, because he shared signwood with so many other nurseries to get this tree out in the nursery trade. His tree actually came directly from Red Maple Nurseries, and this plant is just outstanding. I remember going and seeing his original tree, and a lot of our photos on our website are actually Ed Shin's photos he allows us to use of his tree in the landscape with the fall color.
Now, not a lot of people know this, but you're actually supposed to plant these in the Orion constellation. So you have to buy multiples and then plant these in your garden in the exact locations to recreate Orion's belt.
So guys, today we've given you 4 different red dwarfs to compare and contrast, so you can see them growing out in the landscape, see the shapes that they're forming, and understand how these different 4 red dwarf Japanese maples are different.
Yeah, we really special thanks to Eric Schmidt of John Schmidt Nursery for letting us film out here at his place. An amazing place. And guys, we're not even finished here. We're going to be filming some other comparison videos in ground of some specimen Japanese maples. We hope you enjoy this kind of content. And if we've earned it, make sure to subscribe to the Mr. Maple Show here on YouTube.
Guys, take care.
God bless.
And have an awesome day.